Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Honorable Mention Sports. One of the contributors here, Drew Bedard. Hope you're doing well. Um, I'm going to welcome you into a special NFL edition of This May Be Controversial. So, This May Be Controversial is going to be a show that I'm going to do regularly, where we're going to talk about whether it's football or other sports, and just talk about topics that may be controversial to you, but to me they seem quite obvious. But it's meant to foster discussion, and we'll see what happens from there. So this may be controversial for everybody who's watching tonight, but please leave a comment, put it in the chat. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick tonight. So please, and I'll try to keep my voice in good shape with some tea here. I sound like I'm English. All right. So we're right in the middle of Monday Night Football, the doubleheader, the second doubleheader in 2 weeks. We've got Miami and the Tennessee Titans, Miami Dolphins, Tennessee Titans in Miami. And we've got the Seattle Seahawks at Detroit tonight. So it looks like the Detroit Lions have scored again. They are on a roll tonight. I did have David Montgomery on an anytime TD. I've got a 3-pick parlay here tonight. We've got David Montgomery, DK Metcalf, who almost had a touchdown, and it was overturned because he was out at the 1-yard line, and Devin Achane for the Miami Dolphins. So we'll see what happens. And also, at this point in the games, Will Levis has come out of the game with a right shoulder injury, but also because Mason Rudolph is doing better than him at quarterback right now. I mean, Will, in the first 2 weeks of the season, made catastrophic mistakes at the end of the games to lose the Tennessee Titans the games. They should not have lost to the Chicago Bears. They should have they may have been 3-0 versus 0-3 at this point. Now they're playing Miami. Mason Rudolph has come in and sort of methodically move them down the field. So I'm pretty impressed so far. I put out a tweet on the Honorable Mention sports channels tonight saying, is the Will Levis experiment in Nashville over? Is it time to end the Will Levis Nashville Tennessee Titans experiment? So let us know what you guys think over on X and Threads. All right, here we go. This may be controversial, so here are some of my thoughts. All right. This may be controversial, but there is a guy who has emerged as my number one quarterback in the league. That's right, my number one at the top versus Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or anybody else. This is the number one quarterback in the league to me right now. This guy has an 82% completion rate, almost 1,000 yards, and, a modest 3 TDs and 1 INT. But the way that he's leading his team right now, and the way that he's confidently and just as cool as a cucumber out there, leading an old powerhouse, an old team that knows how to win, has won Super Bowls before, but is leading them to almost perfection. And in his rookie year, I think you guys know where I'm going with this. I'm talking about none other than Washington Commanders rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, the dynamic passer and runner out of LSU, Heisman Trophy winner, proving for the second year in a row that picking second in the draft might not be such a bad pick, as last year was CJ Stroud. So number one was Bryce Young, then CJ Stroud. Obviously, CJ Stroud at this point is doing a little bit better. And then this year, you got Caleb Williams, which I think coming up here soon, I've got some teams on the way up, is that I think the Bears may be someone to watch here coming up soon. But my number one quarterback, so this may be controversial, but my number one quarterback in the league right now is Jaden Daniels. And I know that's a shock, but really when you look at some of the statistics right now, and you look at Mahomes or Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen's playing fantastic. It was a shame that they lost last night, but Jaden Daniels is playing like an all-pro quarterback, which, again, that comes down to the 6, maybe 8 best quarterbacks in the league make it to the Pro Bowl or get selected for the Pro Bowl. They play these, silly games at this point. So, all right, number 2. This may be controversial, but my NFL MVP is a quarterback in Florida. So you're going to start eliminating players pretty quick here. Is a quarterback in Florida who is leading his team. So this is going to be strange because now we're talking about I've got a guy who's the number one quarterback in the league, but is not. But I've got a quarterback who's also the NFL MVP, but is not Jaden Daniels. So as far as statistics, as far as leading, as far as dominating in games, my NFL MVP right now is Baker Mayfield. I just think strong performances, all this Tom Brady controversy aside, I think Baker and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Coach Bowles happen to be a perfect combination. And he's my NFL MVP at this point. And I know that may seem controversial, but because there's all these other guys, right? There's running backs, there's wide receivers, but at the end of the day, most likely this is going to come down to a quarterback. And I think Baker Mayfield is leading in that category right now. There's been a lot of guys get hurt. Jordan Love got hurt. Aaron Rodgers is not playing like Aaron Rodgers at this point. Tough game, tough weather with the Broncos on Sunday. But Baker Mayfield continues to shine each and every week. Just want to remind everybody in the top corner, we have a QR code. So if you're on your phone watching this, if you can scan that, I live in Northeast Tennessee. This area has been devastated by the flooding from Hurricane Helene. It looks like Helene. People are saying Helen, but I think it's Helene. Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, Georgia, just some absolutely devastated areas. So if you can help, Irwin is a town that is 15 minutes down the road. I-26 that runs between Johnson City and Asheville has been destroyed and will take, could be 30, 60, 90, could be 6 months to get the highway rebuilt. And Irwin and that area, that's where you saw a lot of the news coverage where people were getting airlifted out on helicopters from the top of hospitals. That's Unicoi County Hospital. So top corner, if you can help Irwin heal, they've got an amazing GoFundMe right now that's actually beat their goal, and they're continuing to go, but they're going to deploy all those funds in Eastern Tennessee to help those families that are in desperate need right now. Also, Josh would want me to mention that at the bottom, you'll see that we're totally fan supported, these channels. And if you head over to Honorable Mention Sports, that is a Substack website where you can donate, you can support, and help the team at Honorable Mention Sports out. All right, my next category is this may be controversial, but these are vets who are struggling and normally don't. And what's disappointing about this whole thing is one is getting dogged all the time and one gets lavish praise for being a magician. And you probably know where I'm going with this, but two vets that are struggling, even though one's on a 4-0 team and the other one's on the Philadelphia Eagles, which should be better than what they are right now, but losing Jason Kelce and other key players, Hassan Reddick and others, they're struggling a little bit right now. But the two vets who are struggling and disappointed to see that one gets dogged and the other one gets lavish praise is Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. So Patrick Mahomes, again, some sort of crazy magic. And I know the Chiefs fans out there would say it's not magic. These are Super Bowl champions. They're the best in the business. They are. But they have been getting lucky at the end of these games almost every single week. And Jalen Hurts. So both are playing about the same. I had a statistic here that I'll pull up from earlier tonight that, let's see, 68% completion percentage, about 900 passing yards, 6 total TDs, not just passing TDs, but total TDs. Hurts has 4 interceptions. Mahomes has 6 interceptions. So Mahomes has 6 and 6. And their QB ratings, Hurts is 85 and Mahomes is 89. So these are two vets who are struggling right now, probably with some of the changes in Philadelphia for Jalen Hurts and also with Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. Are the Chiefs feeling their age a little bit? But I don't think that it's fair that one gets dogged, that Jalen Hurts gets dogged, and the other one gets lavish praise for being a magician. So that's my controversial take, is that they should be treated equally. So if Jalen Hurts is getting dogged, then maybe Mahomes should be getting dogged too. But he's on a 4-0 team. And again, been getting great calls at the end of games. All right. Despite a tough loss, this may be controversial, but my best coach in the league is not just the best coach this year, but probably the best coach in the NFL for the last some odd 20 years. And leading a team that has had multiple quarterbacks, people come in and out of the offense and defense, and that is Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Mike Tomlin is the best coach in the NFL, and I think he's proving it this year with the Pittsburgh Steelers, coming off a tough loss, 3-1, but overachieving. Yes, I know they have Russell Wilson. He's still on the injured list, even though he's wearing pads every single week. You've got Justin Fields, who's leading them quite well. Almost won the game this past weekend. But Mike Tomlin is my coach of the year. And I don't know if that should be controversial or not. But I don't think it's Andy Reid. I don't think it's, maybe it's the Seahawks coach. But I think if you look at all the different factors, maybe Todd Bowles in Tampa Bay, but if you look at all the different factors, I think you're looking at Mike Tomlin. Not only is the best coach in the league, but probably not getting his props for the best coach of the last 20 years, the last 2 decades. All right. This may be controversial, but these are my teams on the way up. The first one is from the dirty South. It's the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins still looks hobbled a little bit, but he can still throw it, man. He's still got a great arm. I know Pitts did not get a catch this past weekend, but for Atlanta, it's about winning. I think they're doing a great job. I think Coach Raheem down there in Atlanta, I think he's fantastic. I think he's a great motivator. Everybody talks about what such a wonderful guy he is. I love the Falcons' future. I think they're a team on the way up, and they've got Michael Penix in the bullpen ready to sling it. So I think they're a team on the way up. Seahawks are a team on the way up. They're doing quite well. Their defense is outstanding. And their offense is sufficient. They've got DK Metcalf. They've got Geno Smith. They're a good team with a great defense, and great defenses are what wins in the playoffs. I know it's hard to stop Patrick Mahomes when he makes a late run in the playoffs because the dude just pulls out wins. He's just one of those Tom Brady type guys. But the Seahawks are a team on the way up. I like not only their present, but I like their future. I think the Bears, it may be controversial to say this because they're 2-2 right now, but I think the Bears are on the way up. I think Caleb Williams played a better game the other day. I think as it gets cold, I think the Bears are looking up. I think they've got a good defense. They've got great offensive weapons. The Bears are somebody who I'm watching. I think they played a better game this past weekend. They stole one away from the Titans in week 1, but they're 2-2, so they're at a great place, and I think that they could win a lot of games through the remainder of the season. And my last one, teams on the way up, and this is going to seem weird because they don't really need to be on the way up because they went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, but the Bengals, they're going to be better than their record. They've got Jamar Chase back. They've got him in the mix. He had a fantastic touchdown yesterday. They're better than what their record shows. And I think Burrow's got this weird track record of sort of as the season evolves, as people get worn down, he gets a little bit better. So he's one of those guys, and you can tell that that's probably a guy that prepares really well. And, other than the year that he had his injury, he's a guy who's fairly durable. So I like the Bengals to be better than their record now. And I think a lot of people, again, are dogging them right now, but I think that they're on the way up. All right, let's check the scores of Monday Night Football, see what's going on over there. And I believe the Seahawks might have scored again. Excuse me, the Lions. So we got Lions. We're in the second quarter in Detroit, 21-7, Lions over the Seahawks. And now we've just started the third quarter. Titans up 9-3. I'm not sure that one's going to get past 20 points. Here's what I'm looking for in the second half of Titans-Dolphins is I don't know what the Dolphins are doing with Tyler Huntley. Like, the guy's been in the building for 2 weeks, and you have 3 running backs. I know Mostert's hurt, but you got 3 running backs who can run. Give the ball to Achane. Give the ball to Jalen Wright from Tennessee. Go Vols. Give the ball to these guys and let them run. They constantly they need to cater to Tyreek Hill, which I totally understand because he's your, wide receiver 1. But man, they need to be running the ball down their throats. But the Titans have a good defense. And I think that could, again, I don't know if many more points are going to be scored. Could be a low scoring affair. Looks like the Lions are going to have this. I thought this was going to be the more compelling of the 2 games, the Lions and Seahawks, but it looks like the Lions are in decent control. The Seahawks score, we got 2 minutes left in the second quarter. The Seahawks score before the half. And when I say score, I mean a touchdown, not a field goal. They score a touchdown. I think we got ourselves a ball game. We got 21-14 going into the half. We could have a really fun game to watch in the second half. All right. This has been this edition, the NFL edition of This May Be Controversial, but sometimes just got to get those takes out there. Thanks, everybody who's watching, and go check out honorablementionsports.com. And again, help our friends in Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, Southeast Virginia, Southwest Virginia, Northern Georgia, a lot of devastated areas. And I know I have a QR code up there. Help Irwin Heal. You can Google that too. Help Irwin Heal. And it will take you to their GoFundMe as they raise funds to deploy in the community and try to get the people the resources they need. All right, everybody. Have a great night. See you next time.